This is the Breakfast News Live on GTV. We're here to keep you updated on stories making headlines this morning. Don't forget we're live on Facebook and X at GTV Ghana, Multi-TV Decoder Channel 120 and DSTV Channel 278. I am Valencia Tetina. Let's settle for the detail of the stories making headlines this morning. So our very first story this morning, government has commenced the second phase of its evacuation exercise of Ghanaians from South Africa following xenophobic attacks targeting African migrants. The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Mr. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, briefing the media in Accra, said the latest evacuation exercise is expected to bring home about 1,000 Ghanaians. 200 evacuees have already arrived in Ghana, with another group expected today, Tuesday, July 28, 2026.
Phase 2 of the evacuation exercise has commenced, and I can disclose today that the second phase began yesterday, Sunday, 26 July 2026, and this phase is expected to cover about 1,000 Ghanaians. Over this weekend, about 200 Ghanaians have so far been welcomed at the Accra International Airport. We expect another group of Ghanaians to arrive tomorrow, Tuesday, 28 July 2026. We are working closely with South African authorities to ensure that Ghanaian nationals are evacuated in an orderly, dignified, and safe manner. Bilateral channels remain open, and we appreciate the cooperation extended so far. The government of Ghana fully recognizes that the evacuation of Ghanaian nationals from South Africa represents only the first phase of our national response and does not in itself conclude our responsibilities towards affected citizens. Accordingly, the government has put in place a comprehensive reintegration and welfare support package to ensure that all Ghanaian nationals returning home under the evacuation program are received with dignity, compassion, and adequate institutional support. The support provided to evacuees so far has included an emergency cash grant to cover urgent personal expenses, including transport, food, and medication. Psychologists and trauma counselors have also been deployed for arrival responses and to follow up in community-based sessions. We have also partnered with faith-based organizations and civil society groups to provide additional emotional and spiritual support, recognizing that many of these citizens have endured horrors no human should face. In brief, the government has mobilized the full machinery of the government of Ghana to ensure that these returnees are received and reintegrated with dignity. The packages provided include a reintegration grant of 5,000 Ghana cedis each, covering every single Ghanaian evacuated home, whether child, youth, or elderly. Everybody receives 5,000 Ghana cedis each. And every one of them receives an additional transport allowance from the Accra International Airport to wherever their homes may be of 500 Ghana cedis.
Now let's turn our attention to some legal concerns. The General Jurisdiction 2 Division of the High Court in Accra has granted an extension of time to the Attorney General and Services convicted Bernard Enchiboisiakon, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, to continue negotiations on the 30 million Ghana cedis exempt bank charges following a request for a plea bargain. A new legal team for the incarcerated Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP, led by Samuel Atachia, on Monday morning told the court the previous lawyer for Wontumi and third accused Wontumi Farms has withdrawn from his legal services from the case and sought the leave of the court to step in acting capacity for first and third accused persons.
The need for new lawyer to pick up from where prosecution left off with the previous counsel. Chairman Wontumi is facing trial for allegedly causing 30 million Ghana cedis financial loss to a public body in the course of a business transaction with the Ghana Export-Import Bank. Wontumi, who is already standing trial in 2 different courts over mining-related offences, is accused of obtaining 14,302,000 from the bank under false pretenses. Charged alongside him are Thomas Entwibosiaku, who is on the run, and his company, Wontumi Farms Limited. He pleaded not guilty to the charges and was granted bail by the court, presided over by Justice Halima Abdul El Alaw of Bassett on May 18, 2026. His lawyer, Andiapia Kubi, initiated the plea negotiation by writing to the Attorney General in a letter dated June 5, 2026, in respect of the charges leveled against him. A notification of commencement of plea negotiation has since been filed by the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsai, in accordance with Section 162C Clause 3 of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act, 1960 Act 30, for the court's attention as the Attorney General and the defense iron out the terms of the plea negotiation. If the plea negotiation succeeds, Chairman Wontumi could see the reduction of the possible punishment he could face, while he would also be made to repay the money lost by the state, as well as pay compensation to the state. Court documents indicate that sometime in January 2018, Wontumi approached the Ghana Exim Bank for a grant of 19 million Ghana cedi facility to embark on a farming venture.
And Parliament has officially launched the National Integrity Award Scheme, a new initiative aimed at promoting ethical leadership, transparency and accountability in public life. The scheme, established under the leadership of Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin, seeks to recognize individuals and institutions whose actions demonstrate integrity while encouraging a national culture that values honesty, ethical conduct and good governance. The initiative is under the theme Promoting Integrity, Celebrating Ethical Leadership and Inspiring National Development.
We believe that justice has been administered. That belief rests entirely upon integrity.
Other speakers highlighted the economic cost of corruption, noting that Ghana continues to lose billions of dollars annually.
The first step to strengthening our institutions is integrity and ethical leadership. No matter how much money we pump into our institutions, without ethical leadership, all the money will be drained, all the money will be wasted. And therefore, this initiative is an important step to strengthening our institutions and leading our nation onto the right path.
And I hope that the next anniversary, we can all say that this launch was not a mere ceremony. It has values which have been accepted and insisted upon. Our people deserve better.
The Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Alban Bagbin, emphasized that while corruption must be confronted, society must also celebrate and reward integrity wherever it is demonstrated.
The launch of the National Integrity Award Scheme is taking place at a time when the demand for ethical leadership and accountable governance has become more urgent than ever. We cannot only condemn corruption, we must also honor integrity. We cannot only punish wrongdoing, we must also celebrate rightfulness. We must recognize, appreciate, and inspire those who choose the right path. That is the spirit behind the National Integrity Award Scheme.
The scheme will honor outstanding contributions across 9 categories, including the executive, parliament, the judiciary, anti-corruption and law enforcement institutions, the security services, public service institutions, MMDAs, the private sector, civil society organizations, and whistleblowers.
And the managing director of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Mr. Adam Mutawakilu, has undertaken a working visit to the western and central regions to inspect the first phase of rehabilitation of the Bonsa, Dabwasi and Setre Hamam water supply systems. This follows the signing of an 8.4 million Ghana cedis rehabilitation agreement between the Ghana Gold Board and Ghana Water Company Limited to restore the water supply system in the area.
Rehabilitation initiative funded by Gold Board after an independent technical assessment of the affected system is expected to improve water production, enhance operational efficiency, and increase access to potable water for thousands of residents in the western and central regions. The tour took the managing director, Adam Mutawakilu, to the Bonsa water treatment plant, which serves the Takwa municipality, the Dabwasi water treatment plant, which supplies the Takrady metropolis and surrounding communities, and the Setre Hamam water treatment plant in the central region. The inspections enable management to assess the operational conditions of the facilities ahead of the commencement of the rehabilitation works. At the Bonsa water treatment plant, the managing director inspected the persistent siltation at the raw water abstraction point, one of the major operational challenges affecting production. He also examined the improvised floating abstraction pump developed by engineers in the western region to sustain water production and commended the team's innovation while stressing the need for a permanent engineering solution under the rehabilitation program. Beyond the facility inspections, Mr. Wakilu held separate engagements with management and staff of the western and central regions to review operational performance and discuss strategies for improving service delivery. Discussions focused on regional key performance indicators, revenue mobilization, billing and collection performance, meter reading, customer service, reduction of non-revenue water, staff accountability, supervision, and the effective use of performance monitoring systems. The tour forms part of management's broader commitment to strengthening engagement with employees, assessing operational realities on the ground, and ensuring that 8.4 million Ghana City Gold Board rehabilitation project delivers lasting improvements in water production, infrastructure resilience, and reliable water supply to the people of Ghana.
You're still watching the Breakfast News live on GTV. Now, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, ICU, led by its General Secretary, Mr. Morgan Awini, has submitted a petition to government through the Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive, Madam Ebi Bright. The petition urges the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, GIDEC, to suspend plans to a 70% equity stake in the Volta Aluminium Company, VALCO, to act holding consortium. Meanwhile, businessman Ibrahim Mahama has denied claims that he is seeking to acquire the Volta Aluminium Company, describing the allegations as false and announcing plans to pursue legal action against those responsible.
Of the petition had become necessary because information available to the union indicated that the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, GIDEC, is proceeding with plans to release a 70% equity stake in the Volta Aluminium Company Limited, VALCO, to Act Holdings Consortium. The decision to pursue equity investment as an option, according to the ICU, will permanently alter the ownership and control of the strategic national asset, notwithstanding the persistent opposition of workforce and the national union. According to the ICU, VALCO has witnessed remarkable progress in recent times. Under the leadership of its new management and board, a structured optimization program has been introduced with a clear 5-year roadmap aimed at restoring operational efficiency, expanding production capacity, and positioning the company among the most competitive aluminium producers in the region. It is on the strength of this assurance that the ICU is presenting a petition to the Mayor of Tema, Madam Ebi Bright, appealing for the timely intervention to halt the proposed sale of VALCO.
The state and the workforce have invested enormous resources, expertise, and dedication in restoring VALCO to its present state of progress. It is therefore unacceptable to relinquish control of the company to a private investor at a time when the benefits of these collective efforts are beginning to materialize.
The petition was received by Madam Ebi Bright, who promised to send the petition to the right quarters to be addressed.
In good faith, we will send this message across, and I want to reassure you that this is a listening government, and that no matter what, you must keep faith in the good intentions and the resolve to reset, not only reset the nation, but to ensure jobs, prosperity, and economic viability for all Ghanaians.
According to the ICU, the union is confident that the president in his power will not allow GIADEC to proceed with a transaction that would undermine the nation's strategic interests and place VALCO, its dedicated workforce, and the people of Ghana at a disadvantage.
Now let's go to South Africa this morning, where the second Vice President of the Pan-African Parliament, Dr. Zanato Agyemang-Rawlings, has said violence against women continue to undermine Africa's aspiration for peace and security, sustainable development, democracy, and inclusive prosperity. The Ghanaian legislature, who is also the Member of Parliament for Klote constituency in the Greater Accra region in Ghana, said Africa cannot achieve the aspirations of Agenda 2063 while more than half of its population continue to live under the threat of violence, exploitation, and discrimination. Dr. Rawlings made the said statement while delivering a keynote address at a high-level dialogue on the ratification, domestication, and accountability of the African Union Convention on Ending Violence Against Women and Girls in Johannesburg on Saturday. She made the point that we must be vigilant to misogynistic algorithms embedded in AI systems, particularly those amplify harmful stereotypes, promote certain content, or reinforce extremist narratives. Such technologies can shape the attitudes and behavior of young people, especially young men, in ways that normalize discrimination, hatred, and ultimately violence against women and girls. Away from South Africa, let's go to the U.S., where global oil markets saw sharp declines after Iran indicated that it would suspend attacks if the United States maintains its pause in hostilities. The move eases fear of escalating conflict that had driven prices higher in recent weeks.
Brent crude futures fell more than 7% to just under $90 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediates dropped over 6% to around $83. The retreat followed reports that Tehran would halt operations under an attack-for-attack stance, pausing as long as Washington refrains from striking. The U.S. decision to suspend bombing campaigns reportedly came after concerns about dwindling military targets and weapons stockpiles. Ambassador Mike Waltz confirmed the pause was intended to give diplomacy a chance. Analysts note that while higher oil prices had fueled expectations of tighter Federal Reserve policy, inflation expectations remain contained. HSBC strategists credited strong Fed messaging on price stability for preventing the energy shock from spilling into long-term inflation fears.
Away from the U.S., let's go to Togo, where protesters in Togo are calling for a return to the country's previous constitution. Banners and placards opposing the constitutional reform were displayed at the gathering, where organizers held a public rally attended by several hundred supporters. Changes adopted in 2024 established a parliamentary system handing executive power to the President of the Council of Ministers, a post now held by former President Farouk Ghassingbe. Last month, the ECOWAS Court of Justice ruled that the reform contravenes the country's democratic principles, calling it an unconstitutional change of government. And this is where we end the Breakfast News Live on GTV. For more news updates, please do log on to our website at gbcghanaonline.com. You can follow us on all our social media platforms at GTV Ghana. There's more coming up on the Breakfast Show this morning. Stick with us after this break. I am Valencia Tete.
Morning time, the pot is ready. Mama cook it nice and steady. Call your people, call your crew. Oba spaghetti made for you. Come chop, come chop. Everybody chop. Oba on my table, we no go stop. Come chop. Everybody chop. Oba on my table, we no go stop. Everybody chop. Oba.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hey guys. So it's day 3 of eating well. Fit Squad.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Cheat day?
Just try Nutri Snacks. It's like cheat day every day, the tasty way.
Made with wheats and oats for that delicious goodness in every bite. Nutri-Snacks Oats Digestive Biscuits. Tasty goodness. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to Breakfast on GTV. It's Jay Gabra back on your screens, and today we have an exciting lineup for you. Now globally, over the world, today is celebrated as World Hepatitis B Day. We're creating awareness, we're talking about screening as well, getting tested early just so you know your status, how it presents itself and whatnot. Dr. Raja Nunu will be in the house, Dr. Philip Minaku will also be in the house, both from the 37th Military Hospital, to tell us more about that. And maybe there may be some free screening for you today at the Burma Camp area where you can attend and test for yourself. Then we'll also be talking about the kidney later on, then we'll come the sports segment as well. Then of course you have the headlines. We'll be discussing the main issues making rounds in terms of the news and all the trending issues when our guests join us later for the headlines.